Hello Pisces, and welcome to your lunar cycle insight video for the powerful eclipse season of January 2019. So we have a very transformational start to the year with a new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn, which opens a wormhole, a 2-week period of intense transformation until we reach the Leo lunar eclipse on the 20th or 21st of January, depending on where you are in the world. So eclipses are, of course, well known for rapidly accelerating our evolutionary focus and our potential. So quite often during eclipse periods, there is a rapid turnover of events as old things are stripped away so that new vision, new connections, new ways of being can take root. So this video is going to guide you through where these two eclipses fall in your birth chart and how they will affect you and how you can best work with them. It's a very interesting period because we have these eclipses which break down the old structures, which are asking us to really let go of security and make the changes necessary for us to really step into our divine destiny. And we also now, from the day of the eclipse, as Uranus stations direct in Aries for the final time in 84 years, we will be also moving into a period where all planets will be direct until Mercury turns retrograde in Pisces around the 7th of March. So this is a time when great forward movement is possible and really quite necessary after all of the retrogrades of last year. A lot of us were, feeling like progress was hard to make, but this month changes all that. We come back very much into the element of fire with Venus and Jupiter in Sagittarius and Mars in Aries. So it's a very interesting time. And for you, Pisces, we begin this cycle with that Capricorn eclipse in your 11th house. And we know the Capricorn area of our charts has been very tested, very challenged since December 2017, when Saturn entered this space of our birth chart. And this year, he is going to be approaching Pluto, the dark goddess. They're going to come very, very close to a conjunction this year that won't become exact until January 2020. So this year is really the build-up and the preparation to that. So the more we can work with this house of our birth chart, the easier our flow will be, because of course Saturn and Pluto are endeavouring to teach us some deep soul lessons. Although they have a bit of a bad reputation in astrology, there would be no change without these two energies. There would be no cycle of death and rebirth. So as this eclipse activates these energies in your 11th house, it's a very, very potent time for you to start to ground your visions and dreams for 2019. The 11th house, the house of individual purpose and the collective conscious. So as we've talked about in previous videos, this is really your time, Pisces, for activating your purpose in service to the whole. So we can set our intentions around that at this full moon, new moon. But also it's good to be aware that some old dreams or old visions or old ways of working with our purpose that are no longer serving us will also be shook free. This eclipse shakes us up. What we thought was secure and stable, what we tried to cling to, out of a sense of fear can very much be coming up for release around this time. So we're working with that area of purpose, we're working with that area of destiny, of higher vision for your life, and also with your friendships, your circles, your web, your connections in the world. So if you haven't been learning the lessons of Saturn, and we haven't been creating boundaries with people, perhaps the people that we engage with as part of our purpose, perhaps friendships that we've outgrown, or circles or groups or teachers that are no longer resonating with us. If we haven't been making those changes, this is a time when we might be forced to. Eclipses force us out of stagnancy. So that can apply specifically to these areas of your life, of course, but anything that has been stuck can come up for review during this eclipse. But ultimately, this can be a great time for you to get in touch with what your purpose really is, what you feel your duties and obligations are, what you are willing to commit to. How much focus and discipline are you willing to apply in order to build this dream, in order to be of service? Because you Pisces, as the healer, are of course always called towards helping and healing. So this can be an exciting time of change and new growth. We've also at this time got Mars moving through Aries in the second house of your birth chart. So this is the house that is very much concerned with our financial security and stability as well. So with Mars in Aries here, you may be feeling a drive to take action around these areas as well. So these energies that are weaving through your birth chart this month are very, very conducive and, you know, working together in a brilliant way to help you to really start to bring your purpose in your work in the world alive. So it's really important to capitalize on any inspirations that are coming through as well, because we've also got Venus entering Sagittarius just after the eclipse, and she's been kind of going through Scorpio, your fellow water sign, since September, and it's a very deep, intense energy. You know, many of us were in that space of kind of rest and recalibration during the watery festive period that we had with Mars in Pisces and Venus in Scorpio and the Cancer full moon. And this is where the energy changes. This is where the motivation starts to come back in. So as Venus comes into Sagittarius, she enters your 10th house where Jupiter is. As we know, we've been talking about this a lot. And you can revisit your Jupiter in Sagittarius horoscope with the November videos if you choose to. So these two planets traveling through this house of career, house of reputation, house of ambition, house of achievement can really bring in some abundance and opportunity as well. And these energies will be coming together on the 22nd of January. They will come into a conjunction, and it can be one of the most beneficial days of the year for receiving divine inspiration, for receiving abundance and blessings in these areas of your life. So again, we kind of see this theme of purpose and finances and work, which is also amplified by this Leo full moon, blood moon, wolf moon, super moon eclipse in Leo, which finishes up the eclipse cycle that we've been working with Leo and with the Leo and Aquarius polarity since May 2017, since the late 2017, and up through 2018. You may remember a very powerful eclipse season we had in August last year, when Mars was also retrograde in Aquarius. And around that time, on the 11th of August, we had a Leo new moon solar eclipse. So if you set any intentions around that time, now is when they can come into manifestation. But ultimately, we're clearing up our lessons on the Leo Aquarius polarity, because the sun's going to move into Aquarius, into your 12th house, the day before or a few hours before the eclipse. So this brings our focus into the 6th house of your birth chart, which again is associated with work. But this is the Virgo house, so this is more the day-to-day routines, the mundane activities, the structure, the way we organize our life in order to support our work. It's also a house of purification. It's very connected with health and detoxification as well. So if there are some things that are blocking your fire and your vitality, now is the time that you can really work to release them. It can be a time when you are feeling either a burst of inspiration towards what you wish to create in your work, or it can highlight the areas where you are feeling unmotivated. So it's a moon that illuminates how we feel about taking the day-to-day steps that will manifest these big dreams that we've been talking about earlier. So as we can see, it's a bit of an exciting, fiery month, but do bear in mind that around the 20th, 21st, the sun's going to move into Aquarius, into your 12th house, which of course is the space of dissolution, of endings, and the sun always moves through the 12th house on the solar cycle that happens before our birthday, before our solar return. So it can be a time when you, Pisces, are also contemplating the things that you are leaving behind. You may feel a little bit more dreamy and reclusive despite the fiery energy. So it's good to get a balance of inner and outer in your life, particularly after the 20th of January. But this is a great month for you to really start to manifest your purpose. And the key is taking action. The key is acting with discipline, with devotion, with really doing those small day-to-day tasks that can bring your dream into reality. So I'm going to pick a card for you to finish this reading. And these are from the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. I'm just going to give this deck a little shuffle. This is really interesting. This is the card of Mother Earth, and this is a card of environmentalism. So you can see there, she's holding the earth in her hand. And this really speaks to me about what we touched upon with the Capricorn new moon eclipse. Ensure that what you are aiming for, what your purpose is playing a role in serving the evolution of the whole and the healing of the earth, because if not, then what is it for? Who is it for? So the more you focus on service, the more you focus on healing and playing your role in the evolution of humanity, the easier things will unfold and the more you will be supported. And of course, you know, this can be a message around really putting your energy and focus into any environmental issues that you are passionate about. So perhaps some of you are doing a little bit of a detox or veganuary, as we call it here in the UK, where you're stepping back from toxic products and animal products for the first month of the year. And, you know, obviously that has a positive effect on the environment. Or perhaps there's just other simple things, you know, like taking your own shopping bags to the shop when you go and buy your groceries. Just simple things like that, just bearing in mind the impact that you have on the earth and the impact that your work has on the earth. And also, of course, it can be a message to really ground into the earth as well, because you've got a lot of earth house activations going on this month. So maybe it's about connecting with the element of earth, which is the matrix, it is the matter, it is earth. That is the element that really brings things into being and makes them solid and touchable and tangible. So thank you so much for listening to me, Pisces. I am wishing you a beautiful, beautiful start to the new year. If you wish to connect with me further, you can check the links below this video. So much love.